Thank you, David, very much for that talk. And up next, we have Omar Farook. Omar is the CEO and co-founder of Glorify. After graduating from London in motion design, he ventured into the field of commercial advertising and design. Glorify started off with the desire to empower employees or to empower entrepreneurs and provide a design tool for them to do it yourself their way through the process and eventually grow into a team. Since Glorify's launch in 2019, 120,000 plus users have signed up to make their online businesses look more glorious. Omar is a creative professional and a product builder enthusiast with a great passion for the tech space. So please welcome back to Techsylvania, Omar Farook, talking about the 3 steps to creating unicorn quality product video explainers for your startup on a budget. Welcome, Omar.
Hey, guys. Just making sure I'm all set up and good to go. Thanks a lot, Trevor, for that introduction. Really appreciate it. I'm super pumped and excited to be here and share this stuff with you guys. So let me just get first things first, I want to get my deck online. So let me go ahead and do that. All right. So can I just confirm, everyone, can you guys see my screen? I believe on my side, it looks clear. So I think everything's going to be clear, but it would be great to get a double confirmation. But from here, I'm just going to continue. So yeah, thanks guys. Really excited and super pumped to jump in. Yeah, let's jump straight into it. This presentation is all about how to create unicorn level videos, promo videos for your startup on a shoestring budget. And I think, this is something that we as a startup, my startup, Glorify, have been able to completely bring in-house. And I think all startups, even larger companies, deserve to bring this in-house. But the problem is they just don't know the process, right? And that's what my goal here is today. I mean, if you're running a startup, you're part of the C executive team or you're in the team itself, you probably have a great product, but you have to now rely on outsourcing the entire process to a third party, which, in reality, they don't really truly appreciate the vision that yourself and your team will have, right? And that's the goal for me today, is to empower you to know the process, take the process in-house and communicate your true vision and hit that unicorn level quality benchmark. And really for us, unicorn benchmark simply means that, no content, no piece of promo video content leaves unless it blows the hell out of your mind, right? And that's what my goal is today. So I'd love to hear some clear attention from you guys in the comment section. Are you guys up for this? You guys, once you know the process, you make sure that you're going to be excited to implement the process into your own startups, whether you're a founder or a team member at where you're working. And that's, that's the commitment I hope from you guys. So let's jump straight into it. The agenda today is very simple. Introduction. We'll talk about why product promos videos matters. Then the pre-production process, which is customer avatar, mood boarding, scripting, planning, post-production process, the filming, the storyboard, and the final piece. I'm going to be speaking really fast because I'm on the clock, so I need to get through this really, really quickly. So a little bit about myself. Trevor probably covered the most of it, but my name is Omar Farook. I'm a digital motion designer with a passion to help e-commerce and online startups through design. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Glorify.com, which is a cloud-based design tool that helps entrepreneurs get started solo and eventually grow into a team. This passion really came from, my entrepreneurship journey. I started out as a designer and then stumbled across the Amazon FBA model, which I had first success there. Let's just say my design skills had an unfair advantage there. And I found a gap in the market where, entrepreneurs really struggle with creating powerful and engaging design. And that's where we've decided to create Glorify. So why do product videos truly matter? Well, I don't want to go into these cliche stats that you find online and people always shove down your throat, like, videos convert 93% better than images or articles or whatever those stats are. I'm not even sure what they are, but I'd rather show you what we've been able to achieve. And I'm sure other companies have achieved similar, if not better, by bringing the video production process in-house. And these are the high level stats that we've done. 5 million views across social media and YouTube, 140,000 user signups, $1.2 million in sales, and 120,000 followers across email and social media. In Product Hunt, we're nominated for Best Design Tool of 2019. We won the award of number 1 product of the day and number 2 product of the week in 2020. We spend no less than $2,000 or $8,000 per video, right? And we attribute all of our success and all of this benchmarks because of our beautifully crafted videos. We wouldn't have been able to achieve this without that. And we've been able, with on this budget, we've created around 5 videos, main campaign videos, that's been able to achieve this, right? So let's just take it on the high level benchmark of $8,000 as an example. That times by 5 is about $40,000. Is it worth it to achieve the results above? Of course it is. It's a no-brainer, right? To achieve $1.2 million and all this traction. Now, is that a shoestring budget? 100% it's a shoestring budget, because you have companies and agencies charging you anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000, and startups paying this kind of money up front to create a very engaging promotional video. As the math still work, but you miss out on the whole process and being, that fulfilling process of bringing your team involved and creating this visionary content piece for yourself is much more fulfilling than hand-holding a third-party team to get through the end of the finish line. So what are the videos that we produced? These are the campaign goals that we focused on. 5 main promo videos that we launched in the last year. A generic promo video, which lives on our website. It's a full 360 promo video across our entire product. Then we do a use case promo video, which is just dialing down on one customer avatar and creating a personality that appeals to that target audience. In our case, we created a drop shipper ad. We've got some other ads coming out, like targeting Amazon sellers, designers, marketers. So you find an actor that really represents that target audience and can speak to them and appeal to them. Then feature promotional promos. Now, when most companies, the way they do their feature promo is completely wrong. Like, they treat their feature promo like an announcement to their current user base, but that's of no interest to their new users. So the way you want to go about it is treat every feature release like a new product. And the way you do that is just tie it to your main product. So talk about your feature and then introduce your main product and finish the entire loop. So, new users will also understand not only what your product is, also what this amazing feature is all about, and sign up. Then you have your social proof, or UGC, which is the user generated content. If your product is live, whatever business you're running, digital, physical, you probably have user testimonials of people using your product. I'm just checking on the right side, the comments, guys. Just confirm, is everything good? My audio and video. Would love to hear from the comment section if everything's solid. I'll just keep going from here. But yeah, so social proof is really, really important, because we grab this content online, and you can affiliates and influencers, when they create videos for your company and demo your product, they'll cover your entire product. And so you can slice and dice that and create an entire narrative through multiple people that are raving about your product. And that's just really powerful. Then the final campaign we did was a founder-led. This is, the C-level team member comes in front of the camera and positions themselves as a visionary leader of your company on this amazing mission to, solve a major crisis in the industry. And this is where you've got an opportunity to actually push your bold promise, right? And the bold promise really is all about, where you've got the advantage because you have that one-to-one relationship in this video, where it's more intimate and it's much more transparent. You're able to have bigger claims like, I guarantee that you'll achieve these results if you buy my product, which will be so much weirder if it was coming from like a voiceover or an actor that's not really a team representative, right? So yeah. Let's keep moving on. So I'm just checking the comment section. Yeah, all good. So it seems like everything is good on my presentation so far. Yeah, guys, drop any comments if you have any. And, I'd love to confirm if everything's running smoothly on your side. I know these things can have technical. Okay, I'm on the event chat now. That makes sense. Cool. All right, let's keep going. All right, so important pillars, 4 important pillars. Problem solution is number 1. This is just obvious. When you create a marketing piece, we all know you need to talk about your problem. What are your current users suffering from? What are the pains and struggles? And how your solution is going to solve that. This is your features and the technical aspect. But then number 2, you got to tie it in with the benefits and results, the emotional aspect. How does it improve their life? Does it make them more money? Does it make their life easier? Does it, create some process to make a process much easier? Okay, that's the benefit and result. It's really important to tie that with features. Features are empty without results. Then you have 3, which is user story and messaging, where most companies, again, go about this the wrong way. They position themselves as the hero, right? And now when you position yourself as Batman, then you're making your user feel like Robin. And let's just face it, no one wants to be Robin, right? So Don't position yourself as Batman. Okay, your user, your customer is on a massive journey to slay dragons. They are the hero in their own story. Make them feel like the hero. You be their master, be their Yoda and teacher to help them along the way. And of course, you've got the advantage because you understand your users. You speak their language. Use that to emotionally move them. Be their master. Every hero respects their master, right? And entertainment. This is the final piece of the puzzle, which is, you want to make sure that you keep them engaged. And if you're just presenting information, you're going to lose them. In the first 3 seconds of that window of time is when they decide to stick to the video or they leave. So sprinkle it with humor, adventure, inspirational. These are universal hooks that everyone understands. Those are the pillars. We're going to go into this process now. So guys, keep up with me. I hope you guys are still up. If you have any questions, do drop it out. We'll get to it in the Q&A. So the pre-production process is number one. Secret number one is bring it all in-house. Okay, I'm going to use a case study in our company that we use for our video, the dropshipper use case study, where we filmed an actor and we created some motion graphics around that. Really, bringing it in-house is the secret. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You start with the customer avatar and mood board. Just do a brain dump of your target avatar. In Notion, we prefer to do it that way. We list a bunch of images. We create a storyline around them by studying the different people that represents this target market. We study videos, online content of these individuals, and we come to a conclusion, what kind of story that aligns pretty much their general custom avatar that we're targeting. With dropshippers, we found they're mostly masculine, they're too cool for school, they're impatient, they love to chill, they're hungry for success. So it's an extreme version of this user type. We're kind of almost caricaturizing to some extent so that, we really draw the emotions to the maximum degree. Then you have kind of the influencer, Instagram influencer was another example of a use case that we studied. And we found that, they're kind of more glamorous, self-obsessed, show off. Now, a lot of this might sound kind of offensive, but that's the point. You want to take the extreme route in showcasing these characteristics. We created a character called Rosa Diana, female, 26, from Dubai. Brain dumped a bunch of images in the mood board, and that gives a good sense of what emotions and what kind of language you want to use in our marketing by creating this custom avatar. I think a lot of this, if you're marketing teams, this will come as a no-brainer. But you use this resource now to create your script. The way we like to do it is start with a rough structure. This was our structure for our drop shipper story ad that we created. We just had an intro, demo, and an outro. Depending on your product and your use case, it might be different. But this was our structure. And one thing is certain is that if you're doing a demo of your product, drop it down to the most 3 important steps. Remove, in our case, it was these 3 steps: remove the background, pick a template, and customize. And then the outro is really important because that's the benefit and the result. And in our case, the dropshipper, the only result they're interested in is money and success, right? And then we then draft a script from that by, engaging our team. If you have a copywriter, great. But this is a collaborative process. You never know where the best ideas are going to come from for a video promo. And, you need to inject that, find the humor from different team members and the excitement and the entertainment factors. And you start to make a very collaborative process in creating the script. And you can see this script is a little section of our script. You can even see like the little audio cues that we have over here, like ding sound effects. Yeah, dude, that did just happen. You're going to see the final promo at the very end. This visual cues, meditate, action. So you can start to visually imagine what this is going to look like. Then the plan, team, and logistics, part of the pre-production process, is to plan everything so that you go into the sprint of producing everything you need. So number one, motion graphics and animation video. If it's just pure motion graphics without filming actors, then your workload is less. You just need a voiceover. I recommend you start your voiceover in-house with a team member, because if you hire a professional and you have to make changes, then you have to pay for those changes and it's a headache. So start with someone in-house, then maybe hire a voiceover artist later. With live action, 3 things you need to obviously look for is like your actors booking, location booking, and film crew, which is the difference. Now, the secret ingredient here is try to bring as much possible in-house. This is what we did, and all team dynamics are different, but I'm sure if you're resourceful, you'll be able to find it. If you find things in-house, you don't feel like you're paying an upfront expense. That's just natural, right? And so, your investment might be 20K, but 10K, you don't feel the expense because it's part of your team process, and your team, full-time team, are more efficient. They're not just going to focus on this task as they're week to week. They'll be doing other things as well. So the brunt is not felt. So in our case, we had the business visionary, myself as CEO, my partner, can be multiple people. Then you have a creative director. You might be thinking, I don't have a creative director. I'm a startup, but just make your graphic designer a creative director. Okay. So you can empower your graphic designer to become the creative director. In fact, as a startup, all of your founding level team members should have the kind of higher level authority role, even if it's their first time. Mr. Digital Marketer, social media manager, become CMO, even if that's the case, right? If you give that empowerment, then they'll show up for it with their skills. We were lucky in our case that our copywriter and project manager happened to be one person, so we were able to kind of leverage that resource. Your team dynamics, of course, might be different. Just try to be clever on how you use your team. Now, video production team is probably the only cost that you might have to pay for. We had to pay for it. But the advantage here is that you've done your entire pre-production process, the planning, the storyboard, the scripting. So there's very little to do when it comes to the production team when you outsource. They're just the tool now to bring your vision to a reality. And that'll materialize in the next part, which is secret number 2. And the last part of the process, which is the production and post-production process. Secret number 2 is really, taking your in-house pre-production process, which will then equal to a much cheaper and faster and much more fulfilling, in fact, post-production process. Let's jump straight into that. So if you're filming a live action video, you need to hire a film crew, actors, location, editing. This was our cost, $1,500 per day for a film crew, $200 for early talent. We use the site called Star Now. I don't know if that's available everywhere, but you can hire, upcoming actors. And the whole budget amounted to $3,000. But again, our resourcefulness nature, what we did was we used that day rates for the film crew and the location and hired 4 other extra actors. So instead of filming one actor at 60 seconds, which would have taken us 4 hours to film the entire shoot, we ended up filming 4 actors and tripling up our money's value. So be resourceful. And then you can take that video. It'll be once it's fully edited, and you can go into the storyboarding process. So once you have a final edited video of your script, this is a naked raw video. It doesn't have any graphics and visual effects and stuff like that. If you don't have video footage and it's just a motion graphics piece, then you'll be basically skipping this process and going straight to storyboarding, right? We like to storyboard on Figma. It's collaborative, of course. It's much easier. You get your creative director, yourself, other team members, stakeholders to come comment and participate. And the way we do it, we have these screens, as you can see in the slide, and the yellow bar underneath is the script. So as you're reading each scene, you read the script, and the blue bar is kind of communicating to the video production team what's happening in that scene. What are the animations, the movements, the visual effects, the sound, the audio, all the other details are filled in the blue bar below. And the screens itself informs more than enough what the visual is going to look like. So there's very little work to do once you pass it to the video production team. The whole video is 100% communicated in the storyboard. You leave no stone unturned. In fact, we even drop all the creative assets in the same Figma file. So we have the storyboard and we have all the images kind of labeled, as you can see on the right-hand side. So the video production team comes into this Figma file and downloads anything they need for their video production process. So they just download the files and they're good to go without having to bug team members for different assets and files and images that they need for the video. And then we go through the straight sprint to the final piece. Okay, this is when now you've got your pre-production process in line. You've done your storyboard. Everything's ready. You're just passing that on to an outsourced freelance video production. It might be an animator or post-production editor. If you have that in-house, then lucky you, but most companies might not have this in-house, especially early on. Now, ordinarily, you pay up to $10,000 for this kind of role, but because you've done all of this upfront work, there's very little to do, like I said, for the production team. They're just literally taking all of your planning and your storyboard and putting that into action, and you're using them as a tool. Budgets will lie around $2,000 to $3,000. That is definitely a shoestring budget. Now, it is a 1 to 2 week sprint to get to the final version. The feedback loop as well is very minimal here. Why? Because they've got all the plans up front. Right. So there's nothing that they have to worry about. The entire video and vision that you want is communicated to them, and so there's very little for them to, in terms of creative capacity, to think of, and they have to do no strategizing. They're just taking the storyboard and implementing that to the final version. So there's very minimal feedback loop, and you get to the final sprint in about 1 to 2 weeks for like a 60-second promo with a good video production team. And once you get there, it's just such a fulfilling process. Your entire team has participated in creating this amazing video piece. It's just, it's very motivating for your team. It's motivating for yourself. And you feel like, you've really, really been able to communicate your vision. In our case, for our use case study for this dropshipper ad, this is what it looked like after this entire process. So I'll quickly play that video for you guys. Let me know. I would have shared audio, but let me know if you guys can hear the audio or not.
A viral product is key to a successful dropshipping business. But that ain't gonna
Can you guys hear the audio?
To your doorstep. You know what will? Powerful product images for your adverts and for your website that brings in ROI. I use Glorify to glorify my ads and my website, and the results were out of this world. Let me show you how it's done. First, I'm going to grab some photos of my product. Throw it into the background removal tool. Yeah, dude, that did just happen. All right, let's jump in and find a template. There's literally a universe of product templates to pick from. I think this one's a perfect match. I'll just drop my products in. Now it's time to tap into my creative dimension. Let's change the text and highlight my USP, switch up these feature icons, slap on my logo, and of course, my favorite feature, using Branded to apply my brand colors in just one click. Dude, that's so on brand. No one's gonna know I'm just drop shipping. If you want to crush e-commerce just like I did, go to glorifyapp.com.
So that is the process after what you'd expect. We hit that unicorn level benchmark. We believe we've shared it with other people, and they've it's created the results for us. Of course, there's always room to improve, no doubt. But this is how the process will look like and the results you'll get if you take the process in-house. I encourage you guys to bring the video production process in-house. It's such a fulfilling activity to do with your team. Great companies like ClickUp, Slidebean, and Figma have been doing this from very early on. Learn to build this culture in-house so that, because if you delay it, then it's going to be much harder to adopt that culture once you start to grow and scale, right? So bringing this very early on is going to be very powerful for you. And what you have this unfair advantage where you own the entire process. You're able to give life to your vision anytime you want. So whenever you have an idea for a campaign, you can just get your team engaged because they built the muscle for it to go through that exact same sprint to get to the finish line of producing an amazing content. That's it for me, guys. Thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I'd love to hear some, Q&A and take some any feedback from you guys. Thank you.
Hey, Omar, thank you for that, man. Really appreciate it. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Man, so I think we can, do we have any? So there was a quick question, and then we have to go into the next speaker. But what was the name of the tool for the storyboarding?
So we're using Figma. It's a worldwide recognized tool, of course, very collaborative. It's usually done for user interface, but it's just very, very easy to use for storyboarding as well.
And I'm looking here. I think that was it. So
cool.
Thank you very much, Omar. We really
no worries.
Appreciate
Thanks, Trevor. Thanks, guys, for having me. And yeah, I'll catch you around. Thanks.